Hi, I'm just changing the tab. We'll call it Manifesting 101. That's a good title for it, I guess, because I'm just talking about Helene and all the crazy things she did. Can I make this bigger? No. I just move it around. Oh no, I just made it disappear. Oh my gosh. This is me and my settings. How about dismiss? How do I put a thing back up? Oh no, I think they're enhanced. Stickers. We had one and I took it away. How about Manifesting 101? I have laundry to fold and I want to talk about Helene Hadsell. Okay, we'll put it there, just out of the way. Well, our washer died. And so I have a ton of laundry to fold because we had like a lot to do. We went out on the weekend, on Saturday, and I got my front loader, which is really cool because I've had it on my vision board. I keep saying, I don't know when, I don't know where, but I'm getting my front loader again. I just got my front loader. You have to trust in the manifestations. Now, I haven't talked about Helene in a while, but on October 30th, I posted a video about Helene Hadsell because that was the day she passed away 14 years ago. And I didn't even know it. I didn't find out that she had passed until sometime in 2012. And, unfortunately, I wasn't super close with her like I would have liked to have, but clearly close enough that she asked me to maintain her legacy. So I did a video about her and her path with her book, The Name It and Claim It Game. And 135,000 people so far have watched that video about Helene. And I swear she's the one up there. I'll move this up here, it'll be easier. I swear it is her making sure that everybody knows about her. Because one of the things I'm doing is I'm recording her third book, Confessions of an 83-Year-Old Sage, for Audible, because right now 3 out of her 4 books are already on Audible. And that was also interesting because the last time a video about her viraled, I sold a lot of books because people want to know about Helene because she's fascinating. And this time, more people got the Audible edition, which I find fascinating because I think more people have more time to listen to things than they do actually read because we're so busy. Like, look at me, I'm multitasking, folding laundry and doing a TikTok live stream, right? Like, this is how we live our lives now. We double do everything. You go for a walk, you listen to a podcast, you're cooking dinner, you're watching YouTube videos, we're doing everything like double time because we don't have enough time. But if you have any specific questions about Helene Hadsell, her SPEC method, her book, The Name It and Claim It Game, about her life, anything like that, just, leave a comment and I'll answer it. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk about Helene in general. So let's talk about how I met Helene. So I'm not just, as I am on here, Words for Winning. I'm also known as the Contest Queen. And I, like Helene, love to enter giveaways and win them. So if you head over, you can see Contest Queen. Actually, I haven't posted a video up today. Well, actually, I see a comment here. I'm Canadian, believe it or not. So Helene didn't ask, she asked me, a woman from another country, to maintain her legacy, which I think is kind of crazy fun. So how I came to find her, let me go back to that. I'm the Contest Queen. And yeah, I'm Canadian. I'm up here in Canada. And I started writing, there's a whole story background I'll do another time because we're on the Helene, I'm talking about Helene right now. But I had a whole journey and I ended up writing a book called You Can't Win If You Don't Enter. And there's enough differences between Canada and the US and the hobby that I wrote 2 books. By the time the 3rd book came along, I basically took the 2 editions and smashed them together and made one second edition called How to Win Cash Cars, Trips, and More. So there's American resources, Canadian resources in it, but because the process is the same. How you find, organize, enter, and win sweepstakes, contests, and giveaways, doesn't matter what country you're in, the process is the same. The lingo may be a little different, the resources are a little different, but otherwise, I'm going to start sweeping. I already do sweepstakes with online games. Oh, sweepstakes is so fun. Okay, you have to go to my Contest Queen channel for this. Not the channel on TikTok, I meant my website. You can click on 5 steps to begin winning. You can do that, and then you can also, I have a free sweepstakes starter kit. And then we have club meetings, and I do live streams and all that kind of stuff. The last Monday of the month, usually, unless it's a holiday or something, sometimes I have to move them. I have sweepstakes Q&As, so if you have sweepstakes questions, I answer them, stuff like that. So because I was in the sweepstakes realm, and I had written some books, Helene asked me to maintain her legacy, but here's how it came about. Back in 2008, I had a podcast. Like, before it was cool, I had a podcast. And of course, she was famous in the sweepstakes community. By the way, this cup, I took it from Helene's house when I went to visit. Because, it was there. And I'm like, I want something that I can have. So I took a few trinkets. Her granddaughter got some too. Oh my goodness, this laundry went everywhere. Yeah, really multitasking here. So, you know what? This one's just towels. Gonna be towels and socks. I'm gonna move that there. Anyway, so I had a podcast, and I had everybody in the sweepstakes community. There's 2 books every sweeper is going to have read. The first is The Prize Winner of Defiance, Ohio. And that was written by Terry Ryan, about her mother, who, the subtitle of the book is How to Raise 10 Kids on 25 Words or Less. Because her mother was a contester. So before sweepstakes, there was contests. And there was a lot of what we now label, because I'm also a sweepstakes marketer, we label them UGC, user-generated content. And with user-generated content, you have to do something. So in those days, it was, finish this, jingle in 25 words or less, and those would be judged. And then the best ones would be used by the company in their advertising. So they were basically outsourcing their advertising in the form of sweepstakes. So they kind of got double purpose out of it. They got the contest, which gave them promotion, and then they also gave them the winning jingle or whatever, and then they had that to use. So that was good for the companies, and that's what they still do today. A lot of times you'll see, if you enter a giveaway that has a component, like, say on TikTok or Instagram, if you're posting a picture or creating a video, sometimes they'll say, hey, the winning video will be shared. It's kind of cool, and they're getting some mileage out of it. So that hasn't changed in like 75 years. It's just the type and the style of the promotion is different. Because sometimes they ask you to do creation, it's still a random draw. But now they're getting more eyeballs on their hashtag, their logo, their whatever is involved in the promotion. We have way too many socks. So Helene used to enter sweepstakes, mostly sweepstakes, a lot of contests. Like the first one she wins in her book that she describes is technically a contest because she had to finish the jingle in 25 words or less. And so that she would do that. But when she won the house, that was a random draw. So she entered both types of giveaways. Anyway, so I had this podcast, and everybody in the sweepstakes community had read The Prize Winner of Defiance, Ohio, and the Name It and Claim It game, because there were the two big sweepstakes books. And she, of course, was famous for winning every prize she ever desired. So who didn't want to talk to Helene, right? And so I get her on this podcast, and I was a terrible interviewer because it was 2008. I was new to it. I had no idea what I was doing. You know, I did the best I could with where I was at. I mean, we all grow as people and humans and things, and I know a lot of us go, oh, I wish I could go back and fix that. Yep. Anyway, Helene came on my show. She was so wonderful. But off air, I asked her, I said, oh, can I come visit you? I was ballsy. I say cheeky in the book, but I was basically ballsy. I'm like, can I come visit you? She's like, no. I'm like, all right. 3 days later, she phones me back and says, your spirit guides are so loud, you better come. So this is where I believe her and I had a soul contract. She wanted nothing to do with it. And her spirit guides are like, yeah, we don't care that you're not interested. You need to deal with this before you go. So she did. So while I'm down there, first of all, we had fun. Second of all, she said to me, you know, you have to teach maneuvers for witchcraft because I don't think anybody's going to do it. And I didn't understand that but I didn't understand her family dynamics at the time. Now I do, because now I've hung out with her son Dyke. I made friends with her granddaughter Melissa, and I understand the family dynamics. I think she was hoping her one of her grandchildren was going to take over. And I think at that point, none of them were interested, or she didn't talk to them. I still don't 100% know. Anyway, she just knew that I had to take it over. And because I was a contester and because I was a writer, she knew that I could maintain her books. But the one thing she didn't know was that at that point, my life took a nosedive. And yeah, I didn't do anything for a hot minute. Are these the same? No, they're not the same. Oh my God, matching socks is like a game, I swear. So it was a hot minute before I did anything. So she asked me in 2008 to maintain her legacy. I didn't do anything until 2019 when I thought, oh no, I have to get a hold of Dyke before he passes away and do something about this request. So at this point, she had 3 children, Pamela, Dyke, and Chris. Pamela died when she was in her 40s. She had a brain tumor. It was terrible. And then her son Chris had, I think it was COPD. And he passed away 6 months before Helene did in 2010. It was very sad. And Chris left. So the only one left was Dyke and the 3 grandchildren. And then she had some great-grandchildren. So I got a hold of Dyke because he was the only one left and said, hey, your mom asked me to do this like a decade ago. I think it's time I do something with it. And he said, good idea. And he sent me what was left of some of her business files and a digital copy of the book and some paper copies of the other books because there was nothing. I didn't have anything. And so then I started the process of updating her books. Well, how do all the socks go in and I ended up with like half a dozen or more mismatched socks? I'm sure I'll find them in here somewhere. I think everybody's washing machine eats socks anyway. And ours is brand new, so it's probably really hungry. Anyway, I get a hold of Dyke and I start. So in 2020, the Name It Claim It game came out, and then I did In Contact with Other Realms. Now, both of those books she had published and then had printed and were available to the public at large. However, the her third book, the Confessions of an 83-Year-Old Sage, and her only fiction book, A Man Called Friday, were never available to the public before this. So, you know, if you mailed her a $12 check or something like that, or $15, I can't remember how much she charged, you could buy a book from her and she would mail it to you. But she would print them at home, or she had a local printer print them up, and she published those books herself. But there's no ISBN. Like, they weren't like properly published, so to speak. I don't even know what that means. Like, you couldn't find them in bookstores. So only when I published them, like, for example, A Man Called Friday, I published last January, so 2023, so it's almost 2 years now. Before then, no one could ever read that book. And it came out on Audible earlier this year. So I've been just chugging along getting all her books out on Audible. I'm recording her fourth one right now. It's lots of fun. And then what I do is, after it's recorded on Audible, I turn around and I get it translated. So they're slowly getting turned into other languages. So 2 of her 4 books are already in Spanish. So we're working on it. Anyway, one of the things that I really want to get out there is the fact that her SPEC method was not how she won all those prizes. Like, there's a lot of videos that Helene Hadsel won 5,000 prizes using her famous SPEC method: select it, project it, expect it, collect it. And that's just not true, because 2 things. One, if you read the first edition of her book, SPEC isn't even in it. It ends with the Maneuvers for Witchcraft chapter. Like, if you buy the book now, you'll see it's in 4 parts. The first part is what was the original 1971 edition, missing a chapter, which I'll explain how you can get that for free. The second part and the third part is the 1988 edition that was updated by her and Tag Powell's publishing company. I've also bought the rights to his works, which I've started to republish. Then, and that's a crazy manifesting story. Holy cow. It looked like a disaster. And then everything fell into place, which is, I guess, how it's supposed to work. Anyway, so she never manifested anything using SPEC. And then the other thing she didn't do was win 5,000 prizes. So a couple of things that I've been trying to figure out is, one, why she would do that. So I've come to the conclusion that she was doing one of 2 things. One, she was projecting, or she was working on quantum jumping into the timeline that had her winning 5,000 prizes, or having her do that. So that's the only reason I think she did that. The SPEC method that everyone thinks she manifested all the prizes is just a misunderstanding. They don't understand how she actually was manifesting her prizes, but it's actually a 3-step method. So if you read her book, The Name It and Claim It Game, part 1 is the 1971 book, less a chapter, which is, if you go to Words for Winning and you click on the book, The Name It and Claim It Game, you can download a free chapter. Actually, it's on the homepage too. You can download that chapter free. And the reason why it was missing was because I was working off her 2010 edition. And then it was only after I had published it, I get a hold of the 1971 edition. And someone in the reviews said, you're leaving stuff out of the books, or I wasn't putting everything in there. And I thought, that's ridiculous. I had the file from Helene herself. Then I realized the reason somebody said that is because if you go to the 1988 book, it's not there. Now the chapter, and I think her and Tag decided to take it out because the chapter was about dieting, which, what does that got to do with manifesting? And Helene seeing her messenger. So then after a while I realized, oh, the chapter isn't missing. It's been updated and it's been put into the book In Contact with Other Realms. So she actually never got rid of the chapter. She just moved the chapter. And she took the stuff about dieting out because it had nothing to do with anything. Anyway, I didn't feel like gatekeeping stuff from people. So what I did is I turned around and I took the missing chapter from the book and I retyped it. I made it a beautiful PDF for you to look at and download for free. So it's right out of the 1971 edition, exactly how Divorce and Company published it. So there's no excuse. How am I missing so many socks? I have no idea. This is crazy. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so it's exactly like Divorce and Company published it. So you can go and get that free on the website. Because that way I felt better that everyone had the copies. Oh, here we go. Here's another one. That's better, right? Free. I also, the other thing that's been happening is a lot of people message me about the SPEC method and they really get stuck on it. They have a lot of trouble manifesting like Helene did. So here's the trick. Okay, so basically this is she expanded on the famous ask, believe, receive, right? That's the most famous manifesting method. Ask, believe, receive. And then I think it was Napoleon Hill that said, anything the mind can conceive and believe, you can achieve. Something like that. So she took it. So select it is select a goal. Now this is going to sound stupid, but a lot of people don't know they don't exactly know what they want. They'll say something like, well, I want more money. Well, how much money? Jack Canfield has a famous story where someone was taking a class with him and they were goal setting. And one guy goes, oh, I want more money. So Jack reaches into his pocket, pulls out a quarter, tosses him a quarter. The guy's like, what's that? He goes, more money. He goes, I want more than that. He goes, well, then you need to be specific. Because he did just manifest what he asked for. Right? So when you select it, you have to be very clear on what you want. Right? I've had a front load washer since we're doing laundry. I've had a front load washer on my vision board ever since I moved in with George. Because I had one when I was married. And then I got a divorce. And then I moved into a townhouse. And then I went from a front load to an upright. And boy, did I miss my front load. But I dealt with it. And then that one died. And the landlord got me a front load. I was so happy. And then that dream died when I moved in here with George because he had a top load. And I mean, it works fine, but there's something about, I like the front loads because I can wash things that are bulkier. Like, for example, blankets and pillows and things. You put those in a top load, they get stuck or, it's spinning around and it's unbalanced. Anyway, what day was it? It was midweek. Maybe it was Tuesday. And I put in a load of towels in the morning because we should do it on the weekend because the electricity's cheaper. But sometimes I just get so busy that because I'm running 3 companies and I'm publishing 3 books by the end of the year because I'm a crazy person. Anyway, I put in a load of wash. And I just decided to use the hot water. I usually don't, but I thought, oh, this load was a little stinky. We're just going to really crank the heat to kill those germs. Well, we heard the dry washing machine grinding. I was like, uh-oh, that's not good. I'm like, George, come on down here. I don't think the washer. So we're like, we managed to get it drained and spun. right? So we were able to rinse it and drain it twice to get all the soap out, thank God. So then we just put those in the dryer. We're like, okay, we can't use the washer anymore because it was just grinding. I don't know how we managed to do the rinse. I think because the rinse doesn't agitate the same way as the wash. So of course he knew, because I've kept saying it's on my vision board. Like, my vision board is on my office door on the outside because we don't have a lot of wall space. So he sees what I put on my vision board, and he knows every vision board I stick on a washer, front load washer dryer. Our dryer was fine. And then, but anyway, we bought we were looking around, we went to different places. We ended up going to Costco, and we got a front load, and I have been doing wash ever since. So it's been piling up because we hadn't done it in over a week, and then the washer died. So we had like almost 2 weeks worth of clothes. So it was just starting to really pile. I've been doing wash after wash. But I was very specific, right? Select goal. What do you want? A front load washer. Did I care about the brand? No. I knew it had to have the basic cycles, most do. And it had, we got I read reviews online just to see, and they had all good reviews. So I was like, okay, we'll go for that brand. I wasn't picky about the brand. I wasn't picky about the color. And, so right now our washer is gray and our dryer is white, which might bug the crap out of some people. And as a recovering perfectionist, that would have bothered me in the past. Right now I don't care. I have clean clothes and a machine that can do blankets. So I'm very happy. It even has a bulky item cycle. Anyway, my daughter was like, I think a load's done. I heard it just go doodle-doo, or whatever it does. She says, I heard some dinging. I'm like, yay. Anyway, I was very specific. But project it is up here. It's what you think. It's your idea. It's your concept. It's your imagination. Some people say they can't see anything in their mind's eye. It's a form of aphasia, and there's different levels of aphasia. There's lots of ways around it. You can journal. You can vision board. You can even make your own recordings, like they would say tapes in the old days. But you can make a little tape of of yourself doing envisioning, like setting goals. You can make little carousels of images and put them on your phone. Like, there's lots of ways to visualize if you can't see it in your mind's eye. But that's not the key part. That's why you can do many different things for P. But E, expect it. That's the key. That's the money shot, as they say. That's the one that you need to feel. And that's down here. So project it, expect it. And you have to feel as if it's already happened. So how would you be living if you won the $1 million in the lottery? Now, this is the one that also screws people up. They go, well, I don't have the money. How can I live like I have the money? I can't go and spend money I don't have, and I'm not going to rack up my credit cards. That's crazy. And I'm not going to be wasteful or unresponsible. Like, that's just ridiculous. That's not what it means. So there's a famous story with Neville Goddard, and he was working with his teacher, whose name escapes me at the moment, and he wanted to go to Barbados because he's Bayesian. I believe that's how it's pronounced. And so his teacher was like, okay, so pretend you're there. Like, when you fall asleep at night, you imagine, like, when your head hits the pillow, that you're not here in your house, whatever. You are in your mom's guest room in Barbados, or your old room, or whatever, in Barbados. That's what you do. You envision yourself there as if you are there. And you have the feeling. The idea is you also get the feeling that you were there. Like you have to feel it. And he would go, this is crazy, but I'm in New York. And the guru kept saying to him, no, you have to be in Barbados. And he'd go visit him, and he'd open the door. The guru would open the door, and he'd say, where are you? Neville would go, I'm in Barbados. Or I'm in New York. He goes, no, you're in Barbados. Come back when you can tell me that. And he would slam the door in his face. And eventually Neville got it. Because all of a sudden his brother mailed him $50 and he bought a plane ticket. And guess where he was that Christmas? In Barbados. So you have to feel. You have to be delusional and imagine yourself there. Pretend you are there. It's like a massive game of pretend. You have to feel as if you are, kids are really good at this, right? You ask them what they're doing, they're not on the couch, they're on a pirate ship, and they're the pirate, and don't step on the carpet because it's lava, right? Like their imaginations are fantastical. You have to be like a little kid. You always have to imagine as if you're already there. You can remember, there's also, some law of attraction teachers call it scripting. I call it remembering the future. So you write out, so a lot of times they tell you to write things out. I say if you write them out, also repeat them aloud, because I have a crazy story of when I was doing Helene's Audible book of the Name It and Claim It game. I turned around and got, there's a chapter in there where a woman wanted to go on a cruise, and I'd never been on a cruise, and this woman wanted to cruise to the Bahamas, and how she didn't have the budget, her husband wasn't interested in going with her, she didn't contest, so she didn't know how she could just get this cruise. Helene goes, don't worry about that, just envision yourself on the cruise. Well, long story short, she ended up having someone give her their ticket because she had won a cruise, a cruise from a sales contest with her work. 2 days before she was supposed to go on this cruise, her son got sick. She couldn't go. She phoned this woman up and said, hey, I know you want to go on a cruise. I can't go. Do you want my ticket? It's already paid for. So 4 weeks after she started envisioning this, she was on this cruise to the Bahamas. So I'm reading this thing out loud, and then the next 3 days, 4 days, I was assisting. You remember Helene was Jose Silva's assistant for 6 years. She would help him with all his programs. So, this has to be hung up. So she would assist Jose with all his programs. So I've been helping Silva here where I live with the programs. So here I am, and if you've ever taken the Silva method, you know that 25% of the program is meditation into every technique that Jose created, right? You meditate because you go into alpha, you envision in alpha, you come out and you create in beta, right? You take inspired action. So here I am, I read this story out for the book, and then I'm doing all this meditating. And Saturday, the third day of the program, I get a text from a friend, and she says, hey, do you want to go on a cruise? I'm like, love to, but I'm paying for a recording studio time. I'm creating all these Audible books. I don't have the funds right now. And she says, no, it's free. I'm like, what do you mean? She says, well, she was supposed to go with her boyfriend, but 6 months prior, he had broken his leg and used a lot of PTO, a lot of his time off, and didn't have enough left because they were still going on another cruise later that year. And she goes, he can't take another week. So do you want his ticket? And I said, what do I have to do? She said, can you get to Miami? I go, I could do that. So I got my butt to Miami. So 6 weeks after I read the story of a woman who manifested out of the blue a trip to the Bahamas, a cruise to the Bahamas, I manifested a cruise. And what I couldn't get over was that it had gone, like, these cruises go everywhere. And this particular cruise went to Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic, and then Bimini in the Bahamas. And so I'm in the Bahamas 6 weeks after reading this story, going, this is crazy. Talk about manifesting. Like, I wasn't even focusing on that one, and it just showed up, which, love it. So yeah, I highly recommend reading all your manifesting. What book should you get first? Well, what do you want to do? Are you wanting to do the manifesting first, or do you want to learn how to sweepstakes first? If you want to learn how to sweepstakes, give me a couple of months, because I'm finishing up prizes everywhere, and that'll be the third book. That's the new sweepstakes book that'll be out. If you want to learn how to manifest, it's Celine's book, The Name It and Claim It Game. So it depends. And then if you want all the woo-woo stuff, because she waited 30 years from the first book before she did the second book, because she knew people weren't ready for it back in the day. So she wrote In Contact with Other Realms, and then when that was out of print, she wrote Confessions of an 83-Year-Old Sage, which I'm recording now on Audible, and that one's funny. Like, she has a couple of similar chapters to In Contact with Other Realms, but she added others. Like in this one, I just recorded it last week. She dances nude, and apparently I found in her files, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It's not working for me. Okay, that's what I'm talking about right now. I got to the E part. So what part isn't working for you? Because I'm just talking about select it. Okay, so again, I'll just recap since you came in late. You have to be extremely specific in what you want. You can't be wishy-washy in any way. Right? For example, at one point, now this was a long time ago when I was just learning about the law of attraction, I really wanted to win a car because I sweepstakes. And there was a contest that I entered, and I won a Matchbox car. I won a car. I wasn't specific. I wanted maybe a specific model that I could drive. Right? Right. Right? I knew it. The minute I won it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not specific. And I laughed because I thought, the universe gave me exactly what I asked for. Yeah, you won a picture of a car. There you go. Right? It's so funny. I know, we have to be very specific. The universe is literal. Literal. It's so funny. One of the things that I was reminded of, because I knew this, but I was reminded of it recently, and I can't remember the creator. She's beautiful. She has long black hair, but she reminded Manifester, I follow her. So, I don't know. Can you see my follower, who I'm following? And maybe go find her. She reminded of us that you never want financial freedom, because financial freedom means you don't have any bills to pay, like a mortgage and a car payment. So those things go away. No, you don't want financial freedom. You want financial abundance. You have no problem paying a mortgage. You have no problem making a car payment or paying for gas or going out and getting the groceries and stuff. You want financial abundance. You do not mind circulating that money. I was like, oh yeah, that's a good reminder. So I've been doing The Court of Atonement by Amy Jo Ellis, and she has a money book, and So that's been fun. But then she had a few bits in there about financial freedom. So I went and I scratched them out and I switched it to financial abundance in that book. But she's really cool. Anyway, so you be specific. Then you project it. You have to know what, envision what you want. See yourself in the car. Like, let's say it's a car. It's an easy example, right? You see yourself driving it. You going on adventures. I love me a good road trip. If you go and look at my blogs and things, you'll see, like, earlier this year, I went to a sweepstakes conference. And then I thought, well, if I'm already one day into the States, I might as well keep going. So then I went to Texas and hung out with Dyke and... She Who Was Rude. So I went and hung out with Dyke, and I hung out with Melissa, Helene's granddaughter, and then I hung out with, he's here on TikTok, him and his wife, oh my God, so the nicest people on the planet. Melissa? Really? I like Melissa. She's so nice, and she's funny as all get out. We're born the same year, but she was born she's October and I'm January. So I'm like 9 months older than her. And she's had an interesting life. She was mean to you once. That's terrible. Well, life happens. I would like to say I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, because we should always give everybody the benefit of the doubt, because I know when I was going through my divorce, which is why it took me 10 years before I did Helene's books, I was a hot mess, and there was probably times I might have been rude to you too, not intentionally, just because of I don't think so. You always give people the benefit of the doubt, because you never know where they are and where they are on their path and what they're going through. So, let me see. How do we do this? Yeah, that's good. And then can we deal with that? Okay, well, I can't delete the comment, but that person, I block them because that's not true. And they're just trying to stir the pot. Anyway, so we were talking about, projection. So that's the thought process. Expecting is from the heart. Actually, there's 2 blog posts. So if you go to my website, there's one article on the front called SPEC, right? Using SPEC. That was Helene's article that she wrote in 2009. And then if you go through the blog, she had a SPEC explained article that I found in her files. So I put that up there. So it expands upon SPEC. And then I've done some videos on it, how it's like head and heart, which is exactly like the Silva technique, which is beta and alpha. So you got to go down to alpha to create, and then come up to beta and take inspired action. So you use your head, right? I do them all the time. Oh my God, I was looking forward to attending your group. The club meeting, the contest club. Okay, so I do contest club meetings on my Contest Queen page. I do those. They're like every 2 weeks. So the next one I think is November. I want to say 21st, but you know what? If I don't have it on my calendar, it doesn't exist. So I don't even remember my own calendar. And I think it doesn't end till next week, but I also give away a sweepstakes masterclass. So that contest is still open. And yes, Joy, it's so fun. I'm always holding those classes. Always holding. They're like every 2 weeks. Oh no, it's not classes. Let me try this again. Classes, I only teach 3 times a year because I don't have enough time. And I found when people like to learn, so I hold them in October, because September everyone's going back to school and they're like, oh, what do I want to take a class? So I do them October, and then January everyone's like, I want something new this year. So I do it in February because it gives me time to promote everything in January. And then I do it again in May before the summer, because the summer people are too busy to come to a class. And then the contest clubs, the meeting where we all just hang out and talk about what we won and funny things and check in on people and see how they're doing. And I mean, I was talking about the washing machine thing again, and someone was saying they hated it, and then we recommended a product to clean it. Like it's just people stuff. We just as if we were at a coffee shop talking about sweepstakes and our lives and what's going on and things like that. So we've been doing that. And then, so I do them about every 2 weeks, except December, we're only having one. Usually I don't do any in December because it's sweepstakes season. And then once a month, I give away a sweepstakes masterclass. So you have about 2 weeks to enter. And then the 3rd week, I host it. And every class is different because I'm answering the questions for the people that won. So in advance or at the class, what are you struggling with? And then I answer all those. And so people have won more than once. I'm like, you can enter every month if you want and come every month if you win. Like, that's free. And then, sorry. And then every year I go to a convention. So I'm doing that. I'm so excited. This year's going to be in Little Rock. And I'm planning a big road trip. Let's see. I need this one to go here. Oh my gosh. And I probably have more laundry that's all ready, because I had switched it over before I came up, and I didn't feel like doing a live stream, but then I thought, I should do one. I haven't talked about Helene in a while, and everybody wants to know about Helene. And I should change the sheets, and it's 10 o'clock, and we're going to go to bed soon. I missed a sweater. And then I have a pillowcase, random pillowcase. I know, laundry, but it's so nice to have clean laundry after all. It's amazing. I remember when my daughter was born and I was doing laundry every day, and I said to my ex, how does someone this big make this much laundry? It's true. All you parents out there know I'm not kidding. And how do I have so many mismatched socks? I wonder if they were in the washing machine. We should have checked it before. We just put it by the curb. I wonder if any of these socks, the partners were there. That's so interesting. We should have checked. I didn't think about it. Oh well. So then I didn't get to the C part of the SPEC. So the last part is collect it. So I want you to look at how you accept things into your life, right? Can I give you a compliment? If someone gives you a compliment, what do? If someone offers to help you, like you're gardening or you're cooking or you're, whatever you're doing, folding laundry, hey, can I help? What do you say? How do you react to that? Because if you can't even just accept those things, how are you going to accept bigger things from the universe? Right? Compliment back, thank you. Yeah, so you accept it. You have to accept it. So you've got gratitude, right? That's exactly what you do. If someone gives you a gift, right? Christmas time, you open up the gift. Oh, thank you so much. I love this. You're so happy and you're grateful, right? There's so many people that can't accept things. So I know it's crazy, but it's generally the easiest part because if you've done E correctly, actually, when C happens, it's almost surreal. There's a girl on here called, I think is it Madison Rose or Ashley Rose? She started working with Bob Proctor when she was 23. Oh my God. Yeah, I noticed. I say yes, and then people don't show up to help. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe what you can do is start envisioning that whenever you do that, people do help. And see if you can hold on to that vision long enough that it starts to shift. There's some other books that are good. I've interviewed, if you go to my YouTube, there's a couple of people that wrote some fantastic books that I interviewed. One of my favorites, his name is Michael Loge, and he wrote the Law of Attraction book. It's one of the best sellers of all time. He's fantastic. He's Canadian. He's out in Victoria. He's a lovely man and super smart. Yeah, so feeling nervous and excited. If you read the Name It and Claim It game, you'll see Helene says, desire is excited anticipation. Knowing is calm and assuredness. When you shift from a desire to knowing, that's when it comes in. When you know. We've all had this. Sometimes something will happen in life and you go, I know this is going to happen, or something happens and you go, I knew it. So you were past so you might want to go, if you have her book, The Name It and Claim It game, go reread that chapter. And I can't always do it either. I'm working on it. I know, right? You know why? Because I'm a messy human. And Helene was a messy human. She was just really good at some things, but she was a messy human. Like if you read her books and some of the stuff I put up online, she was out there. Or me too, is it? Oh, totally. It's a little bit of both. I call it the good crazies. It's totally fun. Anyway, I finished the laundry. I now have to strip this bed and make it. It's 10 o'clock. I have felt like it's 10 o'clock. Oh, superpowers. Oh, I like that. I think I'm going to change that. I'm going to take it and I'll give you full credit. Helene, anyway, we won. I got to do a video on this. So we won tickets to go see a play like an hour and 15 minutes from here. So it's halfway to my sister's house. And it turned out we won 4 tickets. So I called my sister. I'm like, oh my God, we won 4 tickets. Do you want to go to this show? We pick a matinee because she's like, they're busy during the week and stuff. And Sundays they like to wind down. I said, well, why don't we meet for brunch? We'll go to the show and then we can go home and it's not too late. She's like, yeah, that's a good idea. So I got tickets for the 1:30 matinee today. So I go online, I look at all the different tickets. I have a code. They just sent me a code to use to get the tickets for free. So I get us box seats way up in the balcony, at the front of the balcony. It was great because we could see everything. It was perfect seating. And I print them out, and I always have a certain spot I put important papers on my shelf. And I have just been doing all my accounting. I finally finished my 2023 accounting. I had paperwork everywhere. I was getting closer to finishing cleaning everything up. I can't find the tickets. They're not there. So now I start ripping the office apart. And I'm going through piles and I'm thinking, did I accidentally print on the back of them and send it to the accountant? Like I call it goose paper. You learn that when your kids are at nursery school, good on the other side so they don't waste paper. So I'm thinking, I'm going to print stuff that's going to go to my accountant, that's going to be put in a box and stuck in the garage for 7 years. It doesn't have to be on fancy paper. It can be on goose paper. I don't care. So I'm thinking, did I accidentally print on it? So we're ripping stuff apart. I'm like, George, you got to come and look. So I'm giving him piles of paper to go through. He can't find it. I put everything down. I'm going through it again. Now I'm panicking. Now we're late. So I'm calling my sister. I can't find the ticket. She's like, well, we're not leaving till like 11. Because it was now past, like, it was like 20 after 10. And we wanted to leave at 10:15 because we had like a longer drive than them. I'm panicking. I'm freaking out. I'm finally found the tickets. I'm like, oh, and I was so mad because I didn't have a copy of them. They weren't coming by email or there's no PDF of them. And my lesson was I should have signed up for the website, but I just took the tickets as a guest. So, but if I had an account with the theater, and I didn't because I thought, how often am I going to go? I would have had a backup copy. So I didn't anyway. I found them, and then we went, and we were a little bit late, but we still had time to have brunch, thank God. We went to a great little Mexican place, and then we walked to the theater. But just a tip, always have a backup. So I should have, no, they weren't digital. That's the crazy thing. They were paper. What I should have done is I should have photographed each one and kept them on my phone as a backup, and then I could have just showed them, right? If I couldn't find the paper ones. So always make a backup. Or like, I should have stuck them on the fridge like I normally do, or something else. Anyway, so that was a good lesson. Anyway, by the time we left, it felt so late. Like, we're driving home at 6 o'clock at night. I'm like, it feels like it's 10. Feels like it's 10. I'm exhausted. So anyway, it is 10. So now I'm going to strip this bed and remake the bed and put the laundry away, because that's what I've been doing since we got the new washer. Anyway, I will, I'll be popping online. My goal is to come and do more lives here on TikTok, because I just like talking about Helene Hadsel and winning giveaways. I've been doing more on the Contest Queen one because, let's face it, everybody wants to know how to win. Everybody wants to know how to win. And honestly, this makes folding laundry so much more fun. But I'm not going to subject you to me making my bed. Oh yeah, the manifestation stuff too. But yeah, go on if you go to contestqueen.com and click on events, the dates are there, and or you can just click on, that's one of my goals is I need to sell more books or win the lottery or something, because I want to redo the Contest Queen website, because some of the resources you have to drill down too far, which made sense when we did it originally. But now that I see how the flow of traffic is, I want to pull those things like right to the front, to the home page, or right on the menu. So I have it all mapped out. I just haven't had the funds to redo the whole site. So, I want to do that for you guys. Anyway, if you just click on events, and you'll see the dates. And I think I've updated it. I don't know if I've updated the website. I'll have to go check that. For like right through to the end of February, I've put all the dates. But they're definitely on the workshops page, which is going to be fun. And I had to work around it because January we're going to Mexico. No, I didn't win the trip. And I'm going to talk about that not every trip is a trip win. I'm still gunning for number 25. Yes, the website needs updated mobile. It doesn't load for some reason. Really? That's weird. Yeah, we're going with friends because she's actually she's Canadian. She's Canadian. She lives here now, but was born in Mexico. And she's been living here, I don't know how many years. Anyway, they want to eventually retire in Mexico, so they're going to go down and be with her family for Christmas and look for property. And then we got invited to go hang out with them. So we're going to go hang out, and she's going to take us all over Mexico, which is amazing because this is parts of Mexico that I would never get to see because we usually just do all-inclusive. So this is going to be like the real Mexico, which is cool because I think it's a great country. The people are wonderful. I love it, Mexico. Love me some Mexico. The website needs update. Mobile, it doesn't load. That's weird. That is weird. So anyway, yeah. Hey, can you check? That's the Contest Queen one. Can you see if the Words for Winning one uploads fine? Because I think there's something a little different with Words for Winning than with Contest Queen. I have more errors with Contest Queen than I do for Words for Winning. And I don't know if it's the WordPress version or the theme or what it is. Anyway, that's what we're doing. I'll get there. It'll all It'll all work out in the time that it's supposed to. In the meantime, I have 3 books to put out for December 31st. So one is the Spanish version of A Man Called Friday. The second is the audio version of Confessions of an 83-Year-Old Sage. And the last one is Prizes Everywhere. That now I need to go clean my office tomorrow morning because I threw paper everywhere. Looking for those tickets. Oh my God, what a disaster. Just going through paperwork. Yeah. Oh my God. And I didn't even want to look at it because I thought, I don't even know. But anyway, that's what we're up to. Books. Okay, I'll let everybody go. And I'll put this up. I like to download these after and I put them up on YouTube because then the YouTube people know how much fun we have here on TikTok and they got to come back. Come hang out with me here. Okay, and we'll talk about Helene Hatzel and winning. Oh my gosh, why isn't this thing ending? I'm hitting end and it's not ending. Oh, finally.